Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2026 State of the City event. My name is Hillary Roverud. I'm the interim city manager, and I wanted to thank you all for being here tonight. We're really excited for our mayor to share with you accomplishments and city initiatives that are currently taking place, and really grateful for you all being here and being engaged with your local government. I did want to take a couple minutes to acknowledge and thank the city staff for their dedication and hard work that you're going to see reflected in the presentation. There's a lot of really positive things going on, and I really have them to thank for that. I also wanted to thank the Lake Tahoe Community College for hosting us this evening in this beautiful venue. I always love the Duke Theater, so thank you very much. I'm glad we could be here. And now for the main event. Presenting the 2026 State of the City Address, welcome Mayor Cody Bass.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here. It's great to be together this afternoon. Before we move forward with the State of the City, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the Washoe tribe. The City of South Lake Tahoe acknowledges the lands we occupy today are the lands and home of the Washishu. The people from here are known today as the Washoe tribe of Nevada and California, a sovereign nation. Since the beginning of time and for thousands of years before the arrival of any other people, the Washoe lived here and cared for this place, with values and intention that we can all learn from. On behalf of the City Council, I would like to acknowledge, thank, and honor the indigenous Washoe tribal communities that are past, present, and future stewards of the Lake Tahoe Basin. With that, I would like to move on and thank our City Council member and my fellow City Council members that are here, as well as Mr. Jenkins, who's not able to be present tonight. We are here for the will of the people and by the will of the people, and here to serve you as the public. I'd like to put a special thanks to Ms. Heather Horgan for stepping up and making our council whole this year as we've gone through transition. So thank you so much for your willingness to serve. We wouldn't be here today without this amazing team of professionals. I can't say how much over the last year and the transitions that we've gone through in some of our senior management, it really is a testament to how professional these leaders are. And in each department, I can't say enough about each one of these people and how much you have really done to carry us through a transition, which is somewhat of a constant in government, but it really is a testament to all that we have been able to complete. Really is to your tireless work day in and day out. One of the things that I think is really important about the state of the city is to kind of understand why are we a city, and really going through the history of how we became a city. And if you look all the way back into the 20s, most of South Lake Tahoe was really comprised of little villages as you moved through this part of the basin. And we really only opened during the summer months. It wasn't until the late 50s that Caltrans began to open up the South Shore. And that was really based on Heavenly Ski Resort and us having a year-round economy and a need to get people over the West Slope into South Lake Tahoe. And so, that happened and we started to get a year-round population. And so by 1965, it was really the town came together and 5 founding members of the city came together and decided that we really needed local control and that having our local jurisdiction out of Placerville on the West Slope was not serving us for the services that we needed to provide, mainly revolving around police, fire, and roads, and really keeping up our snow removal to a standard that we wanted. So in 1965, the city of South Lake Tahoe was founded. So I'm going to roll through a video here that shows a lot of photos that just kind of brings us through the eras and really shows us where establishing the city has brought us into today. So. So, just looking through those pictures, it really does, I think, just shows how much change has happened. And again, what local representation and what a great staff and local control can really make happen. So I think it's great to look back at those old pictures. But when we look to the future, we really, I think, always see challenges, but there's also a lot of positivity. And, over the past year or even more, we have seen a lot of transition with local businesses, and there's also been somewhat a lot of fear about, are we losing business? Are we losing economic gain? And what direction are we going? But when we really look at what has happened, right, when we look at the Rayleighs that was here in the Crescent V, and, they had been there for a very long time and didn't really want to leave. They actually, I know they didn't want to leave because they sent us a letter. But what it shows when you have a company like Target wanting to come into that same location and make a major development, an improvement to the facility, and bring Target into South Lake Tahoe, is that we have a lot of economic vitality. A company like Target wouldn't be moving in and making that kind of an investment. And as I was sad to see Rayleigh's go, we still do have a Rayleigh's at the Y, and now we hopefully have people not driving down to Carson Valley to go to Target. We have something right here in town. And so again, those type of investments, it does beg the question of why are we seeing businesses move out, but when businesses are being replaced, I think it shows economic vitality. We can also see that with our local businesses. The Bear Beach Cafe, which was there for many years, and it didn't survive, and so they had to move on. But what has come is Elements, which is a great new business, a great new music venue, and we've really seen more vitality in that space than we have in a long time. You can see the same thing at the amusement park, right? The amusement park is still there, but it was able to be, part of it moved into the Hangar, which is one of the greatest, coolest new establishments, I'd say, in town, a great gathering point, a great new music venue. So again, as we've seen transition with local businesses, what we're also seeing is a lot of new business and a lot of new interest. Same thing that we saw with the larger companies, right? Rite Aid has moved out. Just yesterday, we opened Save Mart. We've seen the same thing with Kmart, which is obviously a company that went under and went bankrupt, but now we have 3 new businesses, Sierra Trading Post, Five Below, and Ulta. So I think as we've seen these transitions, we're also seeing signs of economic vitality. When we see these type of corporations making decisions to relocate into South Lake Tahoe, it shows that we have a strong economy. So from here, I want to really focus on our strategic priorities. Our strategic priorities are the guiding document for the City Council to really direct our priorities and help our staff frame up what we want to see. And so I'm going to go through each one of these. We passed this on May 6th of 2025, and it establishes a shared vision for the future among community members, elected officials, and our city staff. So our first is the ability for everyone who works here to live here. And I'd say they're all equally important, but this is a very, very important one, and not for just this council, but for all the councils that I've been a part of. Housing has been a huge component, and one of our major projects that we need to continue on to keep Tahoe an affordable and for everybody to have the ability to live here. So Sugar Pine Village was the largest affordable housing project ever taken on by the city. And it was with partnership of the state and the city coming together to leverage a lot of funding to bring to life the Sugar Pine Village. Phase 1B, which is our 3rd phase, will provide 60 units of deed-restricted affordable housing. The residents will begin moving in this summer. And the Phase 2B, that's just the 4th and final phase, is actively pursuing financing opportunities. So, this project coming to life in the time frame that it did, and the amount of units that it's providing and residents already actively placed, I think is just amazing and a testament to our commitment to continue to working on affordable housing. We've seen funding for workforce housing actually come out of Capitol Hill, which in this day and age, that's pretty remarkable. We had Kevin Kiley come here and got earmarked $1 million for a project at 3900 Lake Tahoe Boulevard. This has been a really great, just a really great effort to see money coming out of Capitol Hill for workforce housing in Tahoe. We also have created multiple programs. The 2 programs that are really stand out the most and I think are great are the program that is for property owners to get incentivized to turn their house into a long-term rental. This has really helped property owners that may just have their house sitting vacant, but they can realize, hey, I could get income from this all year round, and there's a cash incentive from the city to convert my house. On the other side of it, for tenants, we have a rental assistant program. This program is able to help people with deposits, help people complete documents, different fees, and is really able to help the tenant get placed into housing. So those have been great things that we are really, I'd say, proud of and have actually worked in placing people into housing. We also this year, for the first year, sorry, I fumbled my papers here, but we did a shelter pass, which has been a great partnership with the Tahoe Coalition for the Homeless, which provided housing for emergency shelters in the winter. And this year we were able to place 45 different people that needed housing in the winter months. And that's a great program that we just started this year and plan to continue. Moving forward, efficient government. Efficient government, I think, is always at the forefront of how we all want to operate, and it is a challenging thing. I really want to give my hats off to Ms. Tika Marova and our finance department. Without them and their tireless work day to day, we wouldn't be able to operate efficiently or know how to make the decisions to operate efficiently. One example I want to use is the Lake Tahoe Airport. When I joined council 8 years ago, the Lake Tahoe Airport was about an $850,000 deficit to our general fund, and we were subsidizing the airport due to a multitude of reasons. And thankful to the leadership of Mr. John Dickinson, we have now balanced the budget at the airport, and we don't have a deficit, and that allows us to reallocate that funding to things like roads and actually move the city forward and use funding and our resources in better ways. And we were able to do that by doing a comprehensive rate study, which really brought us up to market rate for things like landing fees and all of our hangar fees and things that we were not getting market rate. To me, I think investment into the airport is something that's really important, and that's also what we've been able to accomplish, is to maximize all of our FAA grants to continue investing into the airport. I look forward into the future and see the viability of electric aircraft, and we will be able to connect with our medium hub airports in Reno and Sacramento with short electric aircraft rides into Tahoe Valley or TVL, which is going to allow people to get here without a vehicle. And I think, as all of us know, that is one of our biggest goals, is if we can get our tourists here without a vehicle, and when they get here we have the right transit, we are really reducing VMT, or vehicle miles traveled. So again, I think with efficiency, this is just one example of how we've really worked to balance our budget. And later on I can kind of show what we've been able to do with that in the road rehabilitation area. Protecting the natural environment. Of course, this is something that is always at the forefront of our mission in the city, as well as with our partner agencies at the TRPA. One of the major ways we're doing that is continuing to expand EV charging infrastructure here in South Lake Tahoe. We've done that at the Bellamy Court Garage. We've done that at our projects at the Rec Center that just got completed, and we'll continue to invest in EV charging as it meets the goals of the city to also become an emission-free fleet when technology allows. The other major project, which this year was just really great to see, was the Motel 6 demolition. And, as many may not know, the Upper Truckee is the largest tributary of water into the basin. And the marshes that surround it for when it floods were critical to filtering the sediment, and why Tahoe had depths of, a 10-inch white plate could be seen at 110 feet. Before we had some of these developments in those marshes. And so restoring those habitats and recreating those marshes is critical to us, keeping Tahoe blue and restoring what needs to be a natural habitat to keep Tahoe how we all want it to be. And so I want to give a big thanks to the CTC, the Tahoe Fund, and the League to Save Lake Tahoe for making this happen and coming together with the city to see this area being restored to a natural habitat. It's really been a great thing to see. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Brianna Greenwald to talk about the Tahoe Valley Greenbelt and Stormwater Improvement Project.
The Tahoe Valley Stormwater and Greenbelt Improvement Project is a two-phase project. This here is the second phase in the central Greenbelt. It is behind the crossings as bounded by Emerald Bay Road at B Street and Highway 50 at 4th, Barton Ave, and Helen Avenue. It includes recreational trails. It's going to have a looped trail system that's all-weather path with these school boardwalks, as well as some recreational play areas up behind the crossings. This project meets two of the City Council's strategic priorities and goals. Not only does it protect the natural environment by helping reduce the sediment and nutrient loads that can get to Lake Tahoe and help us meet our Tahoe Total Maximum Daily Load, the TMDL thresholds, but it also helps provide equitable access for all as it connects the neighborhoods in the Tahoe Valley area to our Southwide commercial area and beyond. Stormwater management is very important in helping keep pollutants out of the lake. We have certain thresholds that we have to abide by as part of the Tahoe Total Maximum Daily Load. This is the city's part of helping increase the water quality and maintaining the water quality in Lake Tahoe. By having areas that are stormwater treatment basins and utilizing this land, we can trap those sediment and pollutants before it gets to the lake, and it provides easy access for our streets crews to clean them up and protect our lake. The key improvements that have been completed as part of this Phase 2 project this summer include much of the stormwater infrastructure. As you can see here, there's a basin and rock-lined ditches that help convey the stormwater. There are also many improvements you can't see, such as the stormwater pipes that help connect various areas. We have some trails that are paved and some that are been graded in and will be paved next season. There's also these awesome boardwalks, as you can see here, that will be connections that will allow users to have recreational access through here through all seasons, because there are wetlands and stream environment zones that will flood the trails if we don't have these elevated areas. It will also have play areas behind the businesses, and it will be a nice interface between our natural environment here in the forest and all of the urban areas around it. The project should be completely finished and open to the public for enjoyment following the 2026 construction season. We're hoping it will be no later than September of 2026 is anticipated.
So great to see, and one of the many amazing projects that's happening in the city. So improved transportation, this is something that is a constant and something that I'm happy to report we have really worked a lot on over the years, and we're really starting to see major investment. And one of the most exciting things is that here in the next 3 weeks, we'll see Lake Link expansion throughout the entire city. This is a key part of us providing a solid transit service here within the South Shore. And part of the reason for that is we have a fixed route that runs along Highway 50. And with Lake Link expanding through the entire city and it combining with our fixed route service really allows for transit riders to be able to get from the fixed route stops into the neighborhoods, and really allows transit riders to have full access to all of the city and not have to walk from a transit stop on 50 through into the Sierra Tracker, into the Tahoe Keys. Having this expanded through the entire city is going to be a game changer for transit. And I just can't say enough for the partners that have come together to make Lake Link a reality. The city has played a major role in that, as well as Douglas County and a ton of different private partners that have come together to make this a reality. And again, I believe as we start to get a reliable system, our ridership is just going to go up. It's going to take vehicles off the road and really meets the goals that we want to see. And for the future, once we can have real reliability, people start to become comfortable without coming to Tahoe without a vehicle, because when they get here, they know they can get around. So it's a long-term investment. It takes a long time to get reliability and trust, but we're on the way, and it's a great thing to see. Just yesterday, one of the greatest, I'd say, small trails that we've done maybe ever, because it's only 0.6 miles, but is a major connecting piece to put together the All Tahoe Mobility Project with the Dennis T. Machetta Greenway, was the Bijou Park Connector Multi-Use Trail Project. And just yesterday, we cut the ribbon and got that open. And it's amazing. It's a great trail. You can push a stroller, you could be walking, you could ride your bike, walk your dog. It's open to so many uses, and it's safe, and really makes that connection right in the middle of town to the rest of our trail network. So great work, and just so glad to see it, and it even came in under budget. So that's a really great thing. Moving into road rehabilitation, this is an area that is something that we're all passionate about, and we all know needs help. So I'm going to let Mr. Stephen Anderjack kind of go through and explain how we select what roads we're going to do.
As part of the 2025 road rehabilitation project, we are actually rebuilding the structural section of the roadway. So this year, we started adding 8 inches of aggregate base underneath 4 inches of asphalt, which will greatly extend the life of our pavements in town. So our roads are selected for our road rehab project with 5 criteria. The first of which is PCIs, which is Pavement Condition Index, which is a rating of the quality of the roadway, with 100 being the best and 0 being a failed roadway. We try to prioritize roadways in the failed or poor categories. The second metric we use to prioritize roads that we pave is utility work. We prioritize roads that have already been trenched by utilities and do not have future trenching planned by utilities. The third metric we have is vehicular and bicycle traffic. We try to prioritize roadways with higher amounts of vehicular and bicycle traffic. That way, the paving is utilized by more members of our community. The fourth metric we use to prioritize roadways is we look for groupings of roadways in the neighborhoods. If the contractors that we hire are moving from street to street all over town, it'll be much more expensive and it's much more cost-effective to find groupings of neighborhoods. The fifth metric we use to prioritize our roadways is equity. We try to move our paving projects from one neighborhood to the next, and we try not to have the same neighborhood get paved year after year. Streets that were paved as part of the 2025 road rehab project were Herbert Avenue, War Road, Red Lake Road, Aloha Road, Hobart Road, Woodland Road, and Walkup Road. This neighborhood has not been paved in many years, so it was overdue for paving. The second main reason was there was an SDPUD water line and sewer line replacement project. This neighborhood had many failed or undersized storm drains, which we repaired and restored to working condition. The Aloha Basin portion of this project was part of the Upper Bijou Park Creek Watershed Project and is a water clarity project in order to help provide lake clarity for Lake Tahoe and keep Tahoe blue. The construction of the 2025 road rehab project started in July of 2025 and was completed in September of 2025.
So yeah, it's really, since I joined council back in 2018, I can't tell you how much effort we have put into the roads. It's amazing our staff has really stepped up. I think that's a testament to show how professional our public works staff is. And it's really methodical about how do we spend what is a limited budget when we know we have way more road miles to repair than we can afford. But one thing I wanted to point out on this graph, so I joined city council in 2018, and you can see that year we were putting $457,000 a year into our roads. And some people ask, why did this happen and how did we get to where we are? And the reason is because, we have to be investing at the maximum amount into our roads every year. I always point to, it's just like painting the Golden Gate Bridge. When they built the Golden Gate Bridge, they've never quit painting it red, and the roads work the same way. The investment has to happen every year, and when you get 20 years down the road, it's time to start paving the road that you'd worked on 20 years ago, and we quit doing that for a number of reasons in the history of the city. We had some issues with inefficiencies in our government, at our airport, at different areas where we really needed to hone in our budget and reallocate resources. I'm happy to report we've done that. And you can see from 2018 to 2025, we have actually put 10 times more into road rehabilitation than the year I joined council. We went from $457,000 to $4.8 million in 2025, along with another $500,000 that is for our local crews to work on patch repair throughout the neighborhood. So substantial investment, and again, this is part of efficient government and what we can do when we work efficiently and reallocate resources to things that we need. If we can keep this up, it's going to take us a while to get to where we're all the way through all of the roads and back to the 20 years, but we need to keep this level of a budget to make that happen, and we will get to a day where our roads are to a standard. Now, there's also a lot of stormwater issues that we need to work on to make that happen, but again, the commitment from council is there, and I believe strongly we need to keep this up. Moving on to recreation and equitable access for all. One of the greatest days since I've been on council was the ribbon cutting that we did last summer at the Bijou Skate Park. When I moved to town in 1998, the skate park was there, but it was really the skating community that had built the park, had maintained it. The city didn't have a huge interest at the time in really creating a skate park. And so the skating community came together, and they have continued through all those years to kind of keep the skate park maintained. So we had some ARPA funds, and when we were coming up to decide what can we do with the ARPA funds, I was a big proponent of let's really get with the skating community, improve the skate park. So we hired a consultant, and we got the whole skating community together to put, make input, and we had the basketball court, which a lot of the skaters were already using, and they were able to combine the original skate park with the basketball court and make what is known as kind of a street course for the skating community. And again, this was our ribbon cutting, and it was just a really great day to have the skate community realize that the city supported them. And I hope as we go forward, we can make more investments and hopefully plan for a much larger skate park as we move into the future of the Bijou Park. And then, as everybody knows, we were able on April 18th of this year to open the new Recreation and Aquatic Center. As everybody, I'm sure most of you are there, it is just an amazing facility. We'll be here for decades to come and serve almost all members of our community within health and wellness. Wow, so great to see. I haven't seen so much joy brought to town since the opening of this rec center. And it's just been amazing as well to watch our staff really work to program the rec center and the amount of programming that has come into it. Our most popular include year-round water exercise. In the wintertime, we have junior NBA. In the fall, we have NFL flag football. In the summer, the junior giants. We also have included partnerships offering Aikido and Jazzercise and the Sierra Spirit Cheer and dance. It's amazing. There's also spaces for events and meetings. This center was really built for all. And again, the biggest promotion of health and wellness that I feel like I've almost ever witnessed in our small town. So it's really great. The city has also reintroduced the third grade swim program in partnership with Lake Tahoe Unified School District. The third grade swim program provides 1 week of free swim lessons to each third grade class in the district. In the past year, the third grade swim program served 225 students. Again, teaching our youth how to swim when we live next to a lake is paramount, and I think it's just great to see that program come back. A fun fact, the facility includes a 200,000-gallon multi-purpose pool and a 60,000-gallon recreation pool. What's ahead? I'd say there's so much ahead, but focusing on our business, our economy, our locals, health and wellness is paramount. But one of the things that we've focused on this year is getting out and kind of working with our businesses, seeing what they need, surveying them. Let's take a look at
Small businesses are the heart of South Lake Tahoe. That's why the city created the Business Visitation Program, a way to connect directly with local business owners, listen to their needs, and support their success. Through scheduled visits, city staff and leadership meet one-on-one with businesses to learn about their experiences, challenges, and future plans. These conversations help the city better understand what businesses need, from permits and resources to long-term planning and economic development support. During each visit, businesses receive information about programs, services, and opportunities available through the city. Owners also have the chance to show what makes their business unique, and highlight areas where guidance or assistance could help them grow. From restaurants and retail shops to service providers, local businesses help shape the character and economy of South Lake Tahoe. The Business Visitation Program strengthens partnerships between the city and the business community. If you're a South Lake Tahoe business owner and would like to participate, the city would love to hear from you. You can sign up and learn more about the Business Visitation Program at cityofslt.gov/business visitation program. Together, we're building a stronger local economy.
So grow and diversify the economy. Again, this is something that touches on business, but what also, looking forward, how do we create a second economy? I think we all know tourism is always going to be our primary and first economy, but what can we do to try to work and create a second economy is always at the forefront of moving forward. But again, as it was highlighted in the video, our business visitation program has been great to get out and really understand the challenges and what do the businesses need. What can the city do to help with businesses that currently exist? And then we've just launched our new business permitting concierge program. This is an effort through the Building and Planning Department to really work with businesses that are trying to obtain their permits, that are trying to get open. As we know, there's so many questions that new business owners, people that are trying to get a permit and get open, they run into a lot of challenges. So this is an effort for us to have a concierge program that is approachable for business owners to be able to work with building and planning to get through some of the challenges that come about. And then new businesses in our community. We've seen the Cascade Kitchen, which is a great food hall and allows for small businesses to run a kiosk and really get their start without a full brick and mortar. And then we've seen Zenith Bite, which is where, it was Pizza Hut, and forever before that it was Marie Callender's. But that has been a great new vibrant business right in the center of town, local and really doing well. And then Slime Kitchen for the kids. So we've seen some great new small businesses open, and I think it's a sign of good economic vitality. Ensuring public safety, again, this is one of the core services of why we were found. And I'm happy to report with Fire Station 3, which is the oldest fire station, been there since 1957, before we were even a city. This station is 2 stories, and we've definitely put it on our capital improvement plan to rebuild this fire station. And one of the great things that, as we started to look at it, was, well, hey, there's a kind of a parcel next door in between what is the bank and our fire station, and would there be any way for us to acquire some of that land so that we could actually create a station that is single story, that has access from both sides, from James Avenue, as well as being able to pull out on Highway 50. And of course, that does so much more for the fire station. It will really upgrade a state-of-the-art facility. We'll have new apparatus bays, firefighting living space, firefighter quarters, drive-through bays, so many things that really can help the environment of where our heroes live day in and day out. So this is going to be a great project as we move forward. And again, I think our fire department, they deserve the best living quarters we can possibly provide. So I'm really, really happy to see this move forward. Happy to report that we were able to acquire that land and work out a deal with the bank. So that's been done, and now we'll get into the planning phases and design of this part of the project. So with that, I want to thank you all for being here. Again, we are all here to make our community better and to work for the greater good, and I'm happy to be of service. So thank you so much. So with that, we are going to open this up for public comment. This is going to only be for public comment on the state of the city. This isn't general public comment, just public comment for anybody that would like to give it on the state of the city. All right, seeing none, thank you again for being here.